Hey everybody, welcome back. We got another Marvel Future Revolution video for you. This time we're going to be talking about the week ahead. Currently in the United States, it is June 27th, Sunday. And this week coming up seems to be a pretty big one regarding the game. So we're going to dive into that a little bit, what we can potentially expect, what we're thinking, a bunch of speculation, things that we do know, things that we've seen out there, tweets, etc. as far as this week coming up. I know I'm going to be paying attention, and maybe this video will help you decide if you want to pay attention more, or if you think that, you know what, there's still some time left. For me, I'm really kind of holding on to this week to see what we got, because it is pretty exciting, at least in my mind. So if you're new to the channel, go ahead and check out the Discord link in the description below. You can follow along on the community, content, etc. We're also doing a giveaway as soon as we get to 10,000 subscribers, which we're getting closer to every day. All you got to do to enroll in that is comment below. That's it. Say something nice. Say, hey, look, I'm excited. Or, you know what? I don't think it's really all that exciting in a week. You know, but tell me why you think that, right? Give me an idea. And hammer down on the like button to help that YouTube algorithm, and subscribe. That gets us closer to 10K. All right, so let's go see what we're thinking about.
Bring me WolverThor!
All right, so first up, I need to explain something, because there is some confusion out there about what is happening around the 28th and 29th. So that's step number one. There's some discussions, or there's some things out there that you might have heard about a Korean event and when that's happening. And that's the first thing I want to address, is the Korean event. And then there's also this tweet where it talks about a Marvel Live airing in 3 days from this tweet. Catch the reveal on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So one, I want to clarify that there are two events happening this week. All right. One, it's the first event is a Korean event. All right. And this event is actually on, depending where you're at, in Korean time, it is absolutely on the 29th. Korean time. Now, if you are in, say, the United States, let's keep with the Pacific time here. That is technically on the 28th, because it's in the future. Korea is in the future. All right. The way that daylight saving, or that the time zones work, that's how it is. In Korea, it's technically the 29th. Pacific time, it is on the 28th. So the Korean one is actually on 6 p.m. Pacific time on June 28th. All right, because that event, and if you come to our, there's a Discord out there that I would recommend coming to. There's a lot of chat about Marvel Future Revolution. You can chat. There's a bunch of news stuff that gets posted there frequently, and we've got a link to a countdown to this specific Korean event, and that is, like I mentioned, June 29th at 10 a.m. and that's Seoul time, right? Like I think it's Korean Standard Time, and that's from the shooting of this video. 1 day, and if I refresh, it's probably a little bit, yeah. So it's a little bit quicker now, but that is again on the 28th. Now, if you don't speak Korean, you might not be able to follow along too well here. I don't know if they'll have subtitles or anything like that, but if you really do want to follow along and see some content, then that is that event. That specific event will be on Netmarble Global YouTube, or I think it even is going to be on the Marvel Future Revolution YouTube page. So if you really want to try to see that again, I cannot confirm if it's going to be in English or not, but you might be able to see some gameplay. You might be able to see some content. I would recommend doing that. And, you know, look, if you need to figure out, there's some good websites out there to figuring out your time zone. You know, so I mentioned this is for June 28th, but you can just see that if it is on June 28th of Pacific time at 6 p.m. That's 10 a.m. On Korean Standard Time. And then you can put in whatever time zone you're at and figure out exactly where it's at. And this one, it shows it would be 2 a.m. On the 27th, or the 28th in that case. So find a time zone converter out there that helps you kind of convert some of these things if you're on different parts of the planet. I know for me it does get a little bit confusing. So again, Korean event happening. We've got a countdown on the Discord for that Korean event. Now, you know, I was mentioning before that there's also another event. This is the Marvel Live event. That's the one that this particular tweet is mentioning. Obviously, this will be covered on all things Marvel. We've got it's going to be a live stream on their YouTube channels, their Twitter, their Twitch, their Facebook, etc. And again, this one, if you're an English-speaking country, or if you're able to speak English, this is going to have other items on it that you'll be able to follow that you might not have understood in the Korean-specific event. All right, so I am fully expecting a whole bunch of information from both of these events. I'm actually hoping to catch both of them, given that the Korean one is, for me, in the evening on the 28th. The 28th is a Tuesday for me, and then so Wednesday the 29th is a little bit different. So now this one here is actually talking about Tuesday the 5th Pacific Daylight Time. But do understand that there are separate events between the Korean and the Marvel event. So again, recapping that. Korean event, technically in Korea, it will be on the 29th. But for us, or for me, who's on Pacific Daylight Times, that'll be on the 28th, which is Monday, at 6 p.m. And then 23 hours later, there's going to be this event on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific. So I hope that helps clear some of this up. That was the first part I wanted to address because there is a lot of confusion about that. So depending where you live, you got to figure out what the time zones are. But staying specifically with Pacific time, West Coast of the United States, Los Angeles, Monday, the 28th at 6 p.m. is going to be the Korean event. Tuesday, the 29th is going to be the Marvel live event. All right. So now we've said that, really, and I talked about the converters. So really now it's like, what is going to be happening at these events? What are we going to expect? What is coming up in this week? Now, look, a lot of this is, I'll be upfront, is speculation. I don't know exact things that are going to happen here. Nobody knows, right? It's all speculation out there. Really the only people who are going to know are those with Marvel Future Revolution, Danny, the developers, all of those type of people are the ones who really, truly only know. Everybody else, they're guessing to see what's out there, right? So let's just be out there and speculate what is going to potentially happen. Now, what I'm going to say, if you go through just their Twitter page, and I go through this in general, I'm not going to go through it in detail, but you will see the ramp up of all of these different things that they're tweeting over the course of the last month or so. It is just thing after, costumes showcase after villain, after some, we got some tweets about 50-player game modes. Like, this stuff is getting bonkers out there where it's like, all right, they're building the hype. All right, and all this stuff was happening until we started getting these events. So I firmly believe that as this week happens, we're going to get more and more information. We might get some more pre-release, pre-registration. I do not necessarily expect a release date, but I'm hoping for one. The joke always is it releases on release day, right? So everybody asks, well, what's the global release? It's on release day. So are we going to get that? I don't know. I'd like to. Given all the things that are happening and how it's been shaping up, yeah, I'm kind of thinking that we will. But again, that's speculation on my part. I don't know that for certain. It's just mainly about like what we've seen. I mean, we've seen the website change. There's constant posts. We've got these these kind of lined up showcase events. We've seen some stuff on some websites throughout the world that are kind of showing, different things that are, potentially happening. And to me, that's like, all right, there is clearly a big PR thing moving here. So I think that is helping build this hype of this game so that we can see it's like this is kind of the initial slight build up to the point where you actually get some press releases this week, a bunch of websites. You're going to see these 2 events, maybe additional events later in the week. Danny and this thing, and I highly recommend this. If you go to Danny's page, he mentioned specifically sending questions. He might answer them during the live stream. So I know I am. I'm like, heck yeah. I mean, let's get this stuff out here. Let's send this again. Let's send this out to people. Like, get these things out there. Put your questions out. Ask him when's the release date. I almost guarantee he's going to say on release day unless they drop that knowledge out there this week. So look, I think this thing is coming hot and heavy. I fully expect this thing to be this game to be released this year at some point. Again, speculation on my part. It just, unless they hit some sort of big hiccup somewhere, you know, we already got the Canada pre-registration. There's some talk about some global pre-registration at some point. I don't know if that's really going to happen or not. I think it probably will, because it makes sense. And you know, when you have those pre-registrations, there's something in, I think it's the iOS terms that you've got to actually release within 90 days. I don't know if that's the case or not. And, you know, look, Netmarble and Marvel Future Revolution can probably do whatever they need to, you know, not have that happen. The game's got to be ready. They're not just going to release it based on those terms and conditions. But like I said, a lot of hype building. You know, the stuff that you're seeing in game, a lot of multiplayer hype. I am looking for like real-time events to do with friends, games that are fun. I mean, like, especially for all my MSF counterparts who are watching this, like, can you imagine like having fun with a game that's not just like constant grind? Like, I'm hoping there's some fun there. Look, you know, I'm expecting some grind in the game for sure. That's just how games are. I think if a game's too easy and not grindy, then it's you lose interest. So I'm stoked. I'm looking forward to this. I really think it's going to be fun with my friends. You know, it's going to be interesting to see how it works over different time zones, because you know, in some of these games like MSF, it's like, oh, it doesn't matter if you're in, you know, East Asia or the States or South America or, you know, Europe, etc., because, you know, you can hit different things at different times. It's not a big deal. But if you want to do a live action thing together with some friends, you might have to narrow those time zones a little bit. But I still think that's going to be cool and fun. So yeah, so this week, I am definitely looking forward to all these things. I'm just checking my notes to see if there's anything else I want to cover. But the stuff that's left, I mean, we've seen all of the really, essentially a lot of the costumes, if not all of them, for all of the available launch, except for Captain Marvel and Doctor Strange, or as he's now, what's the name that he's commonly known for now? What is it? Physician Unusual. You know what I mean? So there was a funny translation out there for that, Doctor Strange Physician Unusual. So shout out to Thorn there. I really personally love that name, and yeah, I think we should kind of embrace it a little bit, and maybe you can create your own version of it. But pay attention this week. That's really what this video is about. Some of the stuff that's out there, clarifying what the difference is between these two events, how you can watch them. I'm hoping to be able to stream, or I'll definitely be doing videos on it. If you're looking for content on Marvel Future Revolution, given where the game's at, I am definitely planning on covering it. I want to see it for sure live. I want to get my hands on it a little bit, but this does not feel like a Realm of Champions to me. As soon as I saw that game, I was like, nope. Instantly, I was like, nope, not doing it. This one has been different, but I still do want to see some more. I want to get my hands play on it, but I am planning on covering this game. So if you want to get some of that content, you want to be get some data related to it, some, you know, how to play a little bit more efficiently, I'll try to be doing those type of things for this game. So like I mentioned before, we've got the giveaway once we get to 10,000 subscribers. So go ahead and follow along in the Discord link in the description below. Comment so that you can actually enroll in that giveaway. Hammer down that like button, click the notification bell, and of course, subscribe so we can get a little bit closer. Appreciate you guys hanging out, and let me know what you think about this game, and if you're getting hyped as I am. I'm still trying to contain myself just a little bit. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to continually do that. We'll see how this week goes, all right? So until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.